One of the things that was on my list of goals for this term, and actually it was going to be an extended one because it was the new signature project for this club. And we asked for suggestions from you folks, and the committee got together and met, and Chris has been working this whole year on the logistics of what the next project's going to be, and he is our program.
Well, I think it's kind of fitting that on the day that a project that started actually shortly before Nancy took office finally gets presented. She asked us being the entire club, to come up with the next big thing. For something that we could put our name on and take pride in, and in doing make the community a better place. We have a lot of talent, we've got a lot of bodies, we've got a lot of resources, and the feeling among a lot of the club is that we can do more and we can do better than we have been doing. I think everybody at all times should consider that there's always a possibility that you could do more or better, whatever your station or position. But our job was to come up with what we call the next big thing. How they defined that is it was supposed to be a big project. It was supposed to be a big project that was going to benefit the community. Something on the scale of Centennial Park. Because I don't know about you guys, but every time I'm headed down that way, whether it's to Canyon Springs or down to Centennial Park, I love seeing the rotary wheel on that park because it's a great place and it's a big asset to the community. It wouldn't have happened except for this club. We wanted something that was a physical entity. We wanted a place to hang a sign. So in the suggestions that were given, there were some great suggestions that didn't fit that particular criteria. And that was our starting point was you guys. The other thing that was important is we wanted something that wasn't going to get done if we didn't come in. Doesn't mean that we have to do this solo. We wanted something. What's important to note is what's not our charge, or not the charge of this committee. First off is fundraising. So there are going to be lots of question marks at the end, and okay, how much is it going to cost, and what's going to be the process for getting those dollars? I don't know. We were very specifically asked not to consider the nuts and bolts of fundraising, just the total amount. We'll get into that. And even more importantly, we were not in charge of saying, no, this is a bad idea. There were a ton of good ideas. There were a lot of ideas that I hope that we can pursue down the road. We're looking at the next big thing. This is not intended to be the last big thing. Our starting ideas. From Kent Just, the stairway coming out from the parking lot in front of Best Buy all the way down to the floor of the canyon. I thought that was very intriguing. An interactive water feature, potentially to go along with the new city center if the new city government center is ever built. We were asked if we could work on renovating the fields and facilities at the South Park softball and baseball complex that the city's recently acquired. Danny Morona has the Danny Morona Performing Arts Scholarship Fund, and people suggested we could support that. We suggested that we could work with the schools, both high schools, to reinvigorate the marching band program, or various service projects, including cleaning up the canyon rim, or working with the elderly. These were all very good projects, and we have nothing bad to say about any of them, but it wasn't where we decided as a committee in the end to go. So what did we do? We gathered all these ideas, plus the committee had other ideas to suggest at the same time. We looked at several of these ideas, did a little bit of legwork to figure out if they would happen. I was fairly enchanted by the idea of the stairway down to the bottom of the canyon, but after you do the legwork, that's a project that's going to run north of $1 million. And it's not something that you can do halfway. Well, we're not going to say no, but we're going to have to say no right now. There was a final committee recommendation, and we'll get into that. And then there was a lot of legwork on feasibility, because it's a project that's going to take a lot of different entities working together. And the committee helped out, and I did most of the legwork on the end, just getting a chance to talk to different people. But I have to say that the discussions that we had, getting from point A to point B, were really good. It's always great to get a bunch of different perspectives. But our recommendation, everybody has probably walked along the Canyon Rim Trail, whether you're talking about coming out of Twin Falls or coming from the bridge headed west. There's an opportunity to expand the Canyon Rim Trail system, and very specifically we're talking about expanding it to connect the College of Southern Idaho to that system. And that was the project that, after a lot of discussion, was decided that that's where we want to go. This is a map, and this is an aerial map from Google Earth talking about where we're discussing. And John's thinking, I've heard about this before, because this is essentially right next to the wetlands project that you were talking about a minute ago. In red, the existing trail system. That's already finished. In pink, or almost white, This is the part that we're talking about putting together. This is the section where the farmer's market has been. This is the underpass that goes under Poleline. This is Lazy J, this is Fawnbrook. Okay, and we'll get into individual pictures of that. And then the yellow section is a section of trail that's actually done, but it's not labeled as sections of the trail. So part of this may be just to improve signage, to improve the functionality of it without having to do a lot of bricks and mortar work. Okay, I'm going to take you through a little visual tour of where we're talking about. This is right across the street from the Expo Center, right across North College. This is the parking area for the farmers market. That's point one on our discussion. This is the same basic area, but now we're looking north instead of south. This just gives you an idea of where the front of the Expo Center is, and you can see the fitness trail that runs across right there. This is starting to head, it's got the 2 gravel roads that go up, starting to head in towards the wetlands. This is the first pond. You can see the trail continues to go off. This is where the larger pond is, has several big goldfish and all the frogs and tadpoles you'd ever want to see. Goes off and around to the right. This is where it heads up towards the right-of-way between Fawnbrook and the Lazy J. This is just to give you an idea of where you've gone. At the start, we basically have just walked from here to here. And that's what those pictures are intended to show. Now I'll show you just the last little bit of that trail. This is my family just along the trail. I should expect other people do too. We actually walk out there as a family because it's a lot of fun to be out there. This is the right-of-way between Fawnbrook and Lazy J. And you can actually see how far everything is set back because there's a 30-foot right-of-way that's owned by the College of Southern Idaho Foundation that basically goes right along that fence line going down. This is that basically the same spot, but looking out towards the north end to get to Poleline. This is standing on Poleline looking back up that same stretch of ground. At that point, you're done with essentially the construction project. Where do you go from there? Well, there's actually a sidewalk already made that takes you back to the underpass. Has anybody in here been through that underpass? Really not a heck of a lot of people. I had no idea it was there until we started on this project. You can see on the lower right-hand portion of the slide, that's where the sidewalk curls around. This is the underpass going under Poleline. This is starting to walk through. It's actually a very nice facility. This is coming out for this. That is, well, let me back up. That first picture, yeah, this is, when you're looking at this parking lot, this is the parking lot going into the Lazy J. At the end of that parking lot, when you're looking right, you're looking down that strip of grass. You're right across from Les Schwab. That's the new hotel up on the left. So this picture is taken facing east. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Because actually there's a large concrete channel that you can't see in the pictures. But here's your walkway. If you climb over that wall and jump in, you get wet because that's the brine cooler. Okay? And it's the way that it's done. Actually, it's really, really a nice underpass. It's very aesthetically pleasing, and it doesn't look like you're walking alongside a canal. So very well done. This is walking through it, and this is coming out on the other side. If you walk straight down that trail, you're going to get to Canyon Crest. Okay? So this is the part of the trail that's already done. So that's kind of the quick walking tour of what we're talking about.